(2020) and beyond. Are we sailing towards a storm? Welcome! In this lecture we are looking at the important cycles of our time. Cycles everybody talks about in the astrological world. I will do too, but in a slightly different way. Our knowledge of the interpretation of the zeitgeist astrological aspect is huge, and combining the meanings of the planets is giving us a fair idea about what is unfolding. But you cannot limit yourself to just astrology, as these aspects evolve in a certain time period that has its own characteristics. It is a time period in which we are buried in mountains of debt, in which the economy again is sailing towards bad weather and possible storms, in which the population of nations are divided, and in which citizens and politicians seem to live in very different worlds. The actual situation in a country, a communion, or the world must be taken into account when we look at important cycles in heaven. So we will not only analyze the astrology of our time, but will also look at the actual situation in the world. Here is a general overview of what we will look at. In the last century there has been a lot of interesting research done on cycles in France, and the result of this type of research is very useful to understand more of our time. So we will look at the type of research and the message for the future. And of course we will have a look at the triple conjunction itself and its three parts. This conjunction did happen before in history, but this time it will be different and more complex, I think. There are several reasons for that, both astrological and non-astrological. The sign, for example, this triple conjunction is in, is very important, and we will see why. And the triple conjunction touches important mundane charts. Not many astrologers use solar returns for charts of countries and mundane events. Solar returns, however, are important, as it shows which field this triple conjunction tends to emphasize. Everyone and everything has a solar return. So even when the triple conjunction does not make an aspect in transit in your chart, it is always somewhere in your solar return, so there is no escape. We all will feel, in one way or the other, its influence. So I like to look at solar returns, and will present some important ones with indications for the near future. But as I said, you have to take into account the time we live in now, and that's a time full of tensions and insecurities. And of course you can say that this is exactly what the triple conjunction is all about, but that's not what I mean. Our financial system is on the verge of a breakdown, and trust in the future imploded in many, many fields, from economics to politics and businesses. So there's a lot to look at. Let's start.